YouTube. This is Daywalker XXXX, and I'm gonna change up gears a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight into me. Uh, when I was about 16, I lived in California. Well, actually, my family did, and I wanted a car. I wanted a car really, really bad. And my dad, being the kind of person that he was, we weren't necessarily broke, but he told me if I wanted a car that I was going to have to pay for it. And, I figured that was fair. So I went out and I got a job at a Pep Boys. And I started working there and I started saving my money. I would sock a little bit away here and there, and, I wanted to get a car, so I was saving up for whatever I could get. And, my mom would drop me off, and I would basically walk back home to, from the Pep Boys out there, and, I was just trying to save up some money and get a car. I wanted girls. If you didn't have no car, you wasn't gonna get no girl. That's just the way it was. So, I worked there for a while, and, it finally came time for me to get a promotion. And the guy that was the service manager out there was a guy named Rick. And on the day I went to go talk to Rick, I walked over to his office and I banged on the door and I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Rick, I need to talk to you. And, he was real nervous. He was looking around. And he crawled underneath the bed, underneath the desk, and it was like, look, Drew. Look, dude, I need you to get out of here, and I need you to, make sure that you shut that door when you leave, and if anybody comes here looking for me, tell them you haven't seen me. So I was like, okay, alright, fine. So I was like, well, I kind of wanted to talk to you about my rep, and by the time I got that far, he was like, get out! I was like, man, I was thinking, man, this motherfucker done got kind of short with me. But I didn't necessarily get mad about it. I was just I was more taken aback by him clowning like that than I was upset. So anyways, I was walking out of his office. And as I was walking out of his office, it was in the back. And there was a door on the outside of the building. And as I was walking out, I swear this was the biggest black dude I had ever seen in my life. This guy had to be at least a good 6'8", 6'9", weighed about a good 280, 290 pounds, looked like he should have been playing defensive tackle for somebody in the NFL or center or some shit. This guy was huge. I mean, this motherfucker looked like the Incredible Hulk. And I mean, as I was walking out, thinking to myself, oh, this motherfucker blew me off. We supposed to be talking about my raise, and it went from that to this big motherfucker going, where the fuck is Rick? Now, you have to understand, I wasn't exactly a small guy back then. I was pretty buff. I was, like about 5'10", 5'11", and I weighed roughly about 245, 250 pounds. I wasn't fat. I was big. I had like 19-inch arms. I was huge. I was a big old guy. I played football, but I was just big. I mean, I was big, but I wasn't big as this dude. And when he said it the way he did, I was like, whoa. And I was kind of, pointing back over my shoulder with my thumb to where the door was, and I'm like, dude, he's in there, because I was half-assedly just taken aback by this dude being so big. It just kind of shocked me, and I was flabbergasted. So the next thing you know, this dude goes in there, and you could hear the furniture flying, and you could hear him screaming and yelling and hollering for help. And, I kind of walked in there and I was like, dang. Because I had never been personally that close to somebody getting their ass whooped that bad before. So in any event, this big dude was just whooping his ass. I mean, bruh, if you ever watched Star Wars and the part at the beginning when Darth Vader had that motherfucker off of the ground with one hand holding him up and his feet were just dangling, and the dude looked like a rag doll, that's what Rick looked like. And Rick wasn't no small guy either. Rick was like 200 and something. And this dude had him one-handed in a Frankenstein, in a choke slam chokehold. I mean, he just had him off the ground, talking noise the whole time. And he took him, and he slung his head down on the desk, and his nose just exploded all over blood just went flying out. So, Rick was screaming like a little bitch, call 911! Call 911! So, while I was standing there, there was another guy that worked there named Donovan. So Donovan was like, hey man, what's going on up in here? I said, bruh, this big dude finna kill Rick. And he was like, why ain't you gonna go help him? I'm like, motherfucker, I ain't security. If he got himself into it, he can get himself out of it. I don't get paid to bust up fights around this motherfucker. I'm not the bouncer. Fuck that. So, Donovan called the police. So the police came down there. And the police were like right up the street. They were like maybe 15, 20 minutes away. And they got there in about 9 or 10. But the whole time, during that whole 9, 10 minutes, he was getting his ass taxed like the government. I mean, he had him on the ground, kicking him in the nuts. He kicked him in the side of the jaw. I mean, this big dude was just fucking him up. So, in any event, first set of cops came in there talking noise about how bad they was going to whoop his ass and he needed to let him go. So, this big dude threw Rick into the 2 cops and commenced to whooping their ass. Well, one of the cops kind of half-assedly got away, got on the radio and called for some more backup. Well, the first set of cops got their ass whooped. These 2 cops just fucking incapacitated. They just whooped. They can't do shit. The second set of cops come in. When the second set of cops came in, the guy was talking all this noise, yada, 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 this, that, get your ass on the ground. So he pulls out a taser gun. When he pulls out the taser gun, the other cop was trying to get close, so I guess he could just hit him with the PR-24, the little nightstick they carry. Well, when he did, the thing that was funny, and a lot of people don't know this, but if you get shot with a taser gun and you're getting zapped and you grab someone else, that person gets zapped too, because it completes a circuit. It completes an electrical circuit. So the cop shot him in the chest with the taser gun, and he grabbed the other cop that was trying to hit him with the PR-24 and just zaps the piss out of him. And then this big son of a bitch just yanks these electrodes out of his chest, throws them down, and commenced to whooping this cop's ass. So during the course of that happening, they called 2 more cops. And then the third set of cops that came in, they jumped on him and they started beating him with sticks, and they finally ended up getting him down, and they ended up fucking arresting him, and they took the guy off. Well, come to find out, Rick had fucked up this guy's car. This guy was actually a professional football player, and he had an Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin that he had brought in there to get the oil changed and some other stuff, he had basically fucked the guy's car up, and it was going to cost him like anywhere from between $40,000 to $50,000 to get it fixed, because he had fucked up the engine some kind of a way. And you know, I mean, that's pretty much my story for the most part. But it just the magnitude of ass whoopery that I saw, it was just astonishing. I mean, I had never been that close to somebody getting beat down like that before. And yeah, I mean, man, it was crucial. It was just crucial. I felt bad for the guy. And the thing that was so funny about it was, when Rick finally did come back to the shop, I was like, hey man, you know, you still need to give me my raise, right? That's all I got, YouTube. Y'all have a good one. Peace.